welcome back to a windy Emirates Golf Club here in Dubai, and what promises to be a thrilling final day. Will we have a hole-in-one? Who knows? Ernie Els is on the 7th, 163 metres here. Currently 3 behind the leader, Robert Karlsson. Another beautiful shot from the big South African. He's really got this delightful languid swing, Bernard.
Yes, very good swinger of the club, very relaxed, and the man for the big occasion, really.
There he is, 3 behind Karlsson. Sandwiched between them is José Maria. But some wonderful names there with Woosnam, Garrido, Ballesteros, but not Greg Norman, who's having a tough time of it out there. And this is a par putt to keep him at 10 under. That's some considerable way behind the leader. And that's going to be his 4th bogey of the day. So the Australian drops a further shot. I don't think he's going to be the winner here. But the scoring is much tougher today.
Yes, it certainly is, John. It's very windy, and Greg Norman's struggling a bit. Ian Woosnam struggling a little bit as well. This is for par at the 8th hole. Sadly, that's his 3rd drop stroke in the last 4 holes, and he goes to 13 under par.
Really good to see Seve coming back to a semblance of the great form that has brought him so many victories over the years. He has struggled over the last couple of years without question, but this is more like the old man.
Yes, a very encouraging start to the season for Seve.
Wisdom. And if you do go into the rough here, well, anything can happen to your balls. We saw with Ignacio Garrido a short while ago, the sand can be extremely punishing. There's plenty of it out here, surprisingly.
This is Robert Karlsson on the 8th tee. Tough tee shot. And of course his driving's impeccable all week.
The winner, as we said last year, Karlsson. The BMW International has also won in Valencia, but now then, what is Woosnam going to find in there? Another ant's nest? Well, he's playing like Richard Green. Like Ernie Els, as we saw earlier, sometimes that's the only way out. But wherever you play in the world, there are different conditions and different hazards. Now then, this fella, Stephen Allan from Australia, is going really well today. Difficult to stop the ball short of the hole, Bernard, with these greens as slick as they are this week.
Yes, the greenkeeper was hoping the greens would run about 11 on a stimp metre the whole week, but in the very windy conditions, they've speeded up to about 12, and that makes it very difficult.
Nice to see Garrido back. He had to pull out in South Africa. He wasn't feeling well over there, a bit like Olazábal this week, but showing that he's fully recovered. Good second shot to 18 for Garrido, who's 13 under, 5 behind Karlsson. And now Alex Chaker, the German who plays some blistering rounds of golf. 11 under at the moment, and that his second to 14. And Lee Westwood, of course, disappointed last week to lose his Malaysian title to Ed Fryatt, a little-known Englishman who plays on the Asian Tour. And the putt's just not dropping for Lee at the moment, but he's come on leaps and bounds.
Yes, a slight frustration for Lee Westwood there. A little bit anger creeping into his game.
Well, it's another shot gone for him. 9 under par now. That man Fryatt, by the way, I used to watch his dad playing football, Jim Fryatt, in the English leagues, a well-known footballer. Woosnam likes his football as well, but he's got to really punch this one in. That distinctive style of his.
Yes, with water on the left-hand side, it's no surprise that Ian's 3rd shot was going to miss the green on the right. The pins tucked very close on the left-hand side of the green.
No, Olazábal still sniffling. He's been taking the antibiotics and a touch of laryngitis apparently now. But, he's played remarkably well to say he's not been feeling too good.
I think it's a case of beware the sick golfer. He certainly looks very good. He looks good and comfortable on the tee shots, and of course he's always good around the greens.
He's tough, Bernard, isn't he, as well, which people don't always realise.
He's a very tough competitor, a very tough player.
So is Karlsson, and if he gets this, he'll go to 19 under. Never quite had the line right. But he's just one of those many Swedes like Per Ulrich Johansson, Anders Forsbrand coming back to form a little bit this year. They've done so well over the years, and now Ernie Els, a commanding figure in the world game.
Yes, he is, and this 9th hole was a very tough hole, probably the toughest hole in the front 9. Demands a very accurate tee shot, and Ernie Els up to it as usual.
They've actually cut it down from last year when it was 463 yards, but that water comes very much into play. Happily not for Els. And the hole comes into play for Garrido, beautifully rolled in there for birdie at 8 to go 14 under, and he just goes along quietly about his business.
Yeah, very encouraging player, Ignacio Garrido. Good temperament.
Karlsson's good temperament as well. He's 2 clear at the moment of Olazábal, 3 ahead of Els and 4 ahead of Garrido. But watch Stephen Allan there going along nicely at 12 under, halfway through his final round.
So Ian Woosnam at the 9th after being in trouble off the tee. This putt for a bogey. And the wind grabbed it, hit the edge of the hole, and still a little bit to do there. That'll be for a 6.
Well, a good crowd come out to watch 2 of the world's top exponents here, and they really do characterise golf. The one of them small and pugnacious, the other a tall man and really dominant figure on the course. Greg Norman, of course. Golfers really do come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, that's 2 bad drop shots for Ian Woosnam at the 9th. Greg Norman for par. Safely in. He remains 9 under par.
Olazábal then. Well, there's that water that can create such a problem. Certainly for amateurs, they'd be terrified to go across even the corner of it. 32 last month, Olazábal. Wonderful to see him back. When you think just 12 months ago he thought, ooh, nearly in the sand. He thought he was going to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair.
Yes, I think the whole golfing world's pleased that Olazábal's back. He's not very pleased with his club selection there.
This for Seve to stay 11 under. Yeah, rolls him in. That consistency really has been in his game this week.
He likes this course. Seve, a former winner in 1992.
Els won in 94. And you feel he's in the mood to win every tournament he competes in these days. Interesting that Greg Norman was saying this week he believes that Els will win more than Tiger Woods throughout his career.
Well, I think you're right, John, if he keeps hitting shots like that. Wonderful second shot for Ernie Els at the 9th hole.
He just ambles along as though he hasn't got a care in the world, doesn't he? So, and here's another quietish player, but he might say something about that. Really came off it.
Yes, a poor swing from Garrido at the 9th. As I said, tough tee shot. The hole's been foreshortened to bring the dog leg more into play. Brings the water into play on the left and the bunker on the right into play. So, wasn't quite up to it there. Now, Robert Karlsson. He too is in trouble down the left-hand side, so a lot will depend on whether they miss those bushes.
People talk about pressure when you're a leader, and maybe he's just starting to feel it a little bit, so close to the end of what could be a winning week for him. Now, what about Stephen Allan here? He's only 24, comes from Melbourne, made his European debut last season. Well, I think it just got caught up in that second fringe there. So, tapping in the end. A young man who only turned professional in 1996, but what an impact he's made.
Olazábal at the 9th hole, chip from off the back of the green. Third shot. Should be quick, and it's a fine chip. That'll give him a putt back up the hill.
Well, it really is a miracle of modern engineering. It's built in the style of Bedouin tents, appropriately enough, of course, as we are really in the heart of the desert. We're only 3 or 4 kilometres from the centre of Dubai. The wind still getting up as Els taps in there. So that's another birdie for the South African. He's 2 behind Robert Karlsson now and really breathing down his neck at 16 under par.
Yes, and how long will he remain 2 behind Karlsson? Because Karlsson's in trouble at the 9th hole, although it does seem to be able to hit the ball. Try and force it back onto the fairway.
Well, that was the outcome. It's very powdery, of course, the sand, and not always easy to play out of. I mean, well, the trials and tribulations of Ian Woosnam. Well, that saw every inch, every centimetre of the hole, but didn't obey him. Stays at 11 under.
So Robert Karlsson's 3rd shot, the 9th hole. Tournament leader. Looking rather anxiously. And no need to be, really, because that's a fine 3rd shot from Robert Karlsson, giving him an outside chance to save par.
Yeah, he's been coached by an Englishman, Simon Holmes. So the players nowadays, they have all sorts of mentors. They have psychologists, and they'll listen to all manner of people. Garrido. You always get the impression that Garrido doesn't need any help almost. He's a very calm thinking young man. Well, it's a fair pitch, but I think he'd have liked it 5 or 6 feet closer than that.
Now Stephen Allan at the 11th hole, this for a birdie. This to go 13 under par. Yes, that's a great 2 from Stephen Allan. Only 4 behind Robert Karlsson, going along well.
There's so many emerging players nowadays, you cannot tip a winner at the start of the week. Well, who would have put their money on this man? Karlsson, he's not in the top 50 on the order of merit at the moment. 58th, in fact, at the start of the week. Garrido here. They do love their statistics. He's lying 33rd at the moment. Just won £12,000. Well, I said he'd need it to be a few feet closer. And this is the way it's going here in the final round in Dubai. Robert Karlsson's lead is now a slender 1 over Ernie Els, and Olazábal, he's there in it too. 2 behind. It's bubbling up very nicely.